I confess that I expected more. He arrived with high expectations, coming from the historic Ajax team, reaching the Champions League semifinals, and comfortably winning the Dutch league. Upon arrival, the team was good, with many interesting players and varied characteristics, a feast for any good coach. But it's a shame that United made a mistake again and once more hired a narcissist with no sense of squad management. This is the story of Erik Ten Hag and how he destroyed Manchester United. Join me in this journey. The beginning was chaotic. It was going to be very difficult to get Sousa's disorganized team on track, but it was a strong squad that should have secured a top 4 spot in the Premier League. Anything below that would be a mild embarrassment. However, in the very first game, they suffered a defeat to Brighton. Fine, it was the first match, but in the following game against Bradford, a team in only its second consecutive Premier League season, something unbelievable happened. A 4-0 scoreline in the first half alone. Manchester United was crushed by a weak Lille team. And from there, one of the biggest collective delusions in football history began. Cristiano Ronaldo was supposedly hindering the United team. The guy was the top scorer of the previous season, and the club only advanced to the Champions League knockout stage because of him, solely because of him. Suddenly, haters and journalists started a campaign claiming that CR7 was hindering United and that the team would be much better without him. Were they right? If you look at the end result, finishing third and returning to the Champions League might seem like a good job. But what if I tell you that the story wasn't exactly like that? Well, a significant portion of Brazilian journalists, including those on major channels that provide analyses based on obvious results and without much depth, declared that yes, Ten Hag is a coaching genius, and CR7 was hindering United, and the team played better without him. So, to prevent you from falling for the anti-fan narrative, let's explore together the story of Manchester United in the 22-23 Premier League and Europa League. And this repeated on several occasions, with Cristiano Ronaldo trying, doing his part, and the team lifeless on the field, lacking any desire to win. But let's go back. After that fateful game that left CR7 on the bench, United defeated Liverpool 2-1, Southampton and Leicester 1-0 each, and Arsenal 3-1. It's easy to say that United played worse than the opponents in all these games, except for Arsenal, which was quite intense. But let's continue. Then came the Europa League, and the owner of the other competition, the Champions League, would compete for the first time in this smaller tournament, the B series of the world's premier club competition. With him playing in the starting lineup, United suffered a 2-1 home defeat to Real Sociedad. Well, now it's up to Cristiano Ronaldo, there's no other way, right? So he tried, had 4 shots, and United lost, playing better, having more offensive presence than Real. Few times have I seen a team so thoroughly dominated in a derby without the slightest chance of competing with the opponent. This was one of those times. Manchester City 6 and Manchester United 3. And that 3 was absurd. Ten Hag's team didn't deserve in any way to have even scored a goal in the match. City played football as if it were a game, even though they scored 4 goals in the first half instead of 5. It was one of the poorest performances I've ever seen, and by chance, Cristiano Ronaldo watched this trouncing from the bench. He wasn't considered to enter the game, and why? In the coach's words, it was to preserve the star and out of respect for the player's career. He wouldn't put CR7 in a lost game. And this is such a clear, obvious contradiction that I thought it would be unanimous on the next day's talk shows. But it wasn't. Ten Hag is also criticized for not having been able to establish an identity and a playing style 18 months after his arrival. Something that explains the questionable performances is the injuries to several important players. United played at a high level in the Dutchman's first season as a coach, ending a 6-year trophy drought and finishing 3rd in the Premier League. This season, the long absences of Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia, and Lisandro Martinez, as well as the injuries to Rafael Varane and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, have left the defense in a critical situation. Casemiro will also be out for several weeks due to a thigh injury, adding another headache for the manager. Veteran defender Johnny Evans, who returned to the club to address defensive needs, believes that the absence of so many players has destabilized the squad. And what about you? Do you think Ten Hag can turn things around? Do you think it's time for United to change the leadership? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.